Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about how the system for disability resource is as slow as humanly possible, and some of the things that you kind of have to look out for if you have a disability or if you are a caregiver for somebody with a disability, things to keep in mind when applying for resources, because there are certain things that you will quickly realize. One thing you have to know is that disability funding is slow. Like, the application process can take weeks, months, and even years, depending on what you're applying for. If you're applying for equipment funding, it can take up to 8 weeks in Ontario for the application process, and if it's housing, it can take, in all honesty, decades. And so you have to have the expectation of applying for things as early as possible and not waiting when there's like a crisis point, because it will not move faster for you. You have to be kind of a psychic and know what you're going to need a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and apply for it today, expecting to get it a year, 5 or 10 years down the road, because that's how long everything takes, and that's how slow generally the system works. Talking on top of the issue of things taking so long is that there are certain resources that have wait lists. And so we're going to talk about how, if you have a disability, wait lists are your reality, whether you like it or not. A lot of situations, specifically with doing with housing, have wait lists that take, as I said, years or even decades. And so you have to apply as soon as possible and then have a game plan about how you're going to figure out housing or find a way to deal with housing until a long-term solution becomes available, because of the fact that these wait lists are so long. And by the way, there's no way to move up the wait list. Like, if you are number 5,000 on a list of like 20,000 people, then you're pretty much going to stay there. There's not going to be a situation where you're going to be moved up the wait list or bypass other people. They have to go through each applicant one at a time before they get to your number. And whether or not you have a change in your medical situation or your family situation, those generally do not go into the decision making of these organizations on moving you up the wait list and making that wait time any less lengthy. Now let's talk about medical appointments. The one thing that is universal to all people with disability is having literally a million specialists. And I'm not joking. Like, I probably have a specialist for like every organ in my body that is semi-working properly. And so these appointments, not only do you have to coordinate and you have to remember all the different medications, all the different treatments, and stay on top of if there's any conflict in medications, because like sometimes they don't know and they just prescribe you something, and then guess what? You're vomiting and you don't know why. But outside of that is also, you have to figure out like the wait times for these medical appointments, because I don't know why, but there seems to be one specialist for one thing in an entire county or like a 50-mile radius. And so you have to, like, even if you get referred, getting the first appointment with that specialist can take years, and then follow-ups with that specialist will be like once every few years as well, and they normally just check in to make sure you're still alive and then just keep it moving. And so you have to be aware and have your expectation that you're going to only see your specialist once in a while rather than an ongoing basis. Another thing you need to be aware of is that everything requires paperwork. And I mean everything. They will ask you to fill out paperwork pretty much for every appointment, every resource, every pre-resource, every screening. It's literally, I wonder why we even have a rainforest, because there's so much paperwork that you have to go through, even if it's online, even if it's over the phone, even if it's required software. It's still a long process, and it has multiple pages. They will ask you the same thing a million times. For people that probably won't even read it, because like honestly, during the whole time as being a social worker, a lot of these forms that we would get clients to fill out, we would upload onto their file, never to be read again, never to be seen again, never to be referred to again, but we would make them fill it out again a year later and the year after that. So you have to be well-versed and be okay with filling out paperwork from now until you leave this planet. My last point is more so for people who are adults with a disability. You are expected to manage every aspect of your life that is related to your disability yourself. At least when you're a child, you do have resources, generally in the form of physical rehab centers, that will help you manage everything and coordinate everything. But the moment the clock strikes midnight on your 18th birthday, it is all up to you. And you have to figure it out, and your family has to figure it out, and you have to be the CEO of your life, because it is at best a part-time job, but in reality, a full-time job on top of everything else that you have as a full-time job. Managing your disability will be a full-time job, and you are expected to coordinate everything and to do everything and to do it without complaint. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the information helpful. I'm going to link right here to my left a video about the tools to surviving a disability or helping your family members survive a disability wherever you are in the world. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications, and I will see you next week.